Hello, my front porch friend. Come on in the house. We're going to have to stay kind of close today. I'll tell you why in just a minute. But I have a lovely, encouraging word for somebody watching me right now. You're not watching by chance, I might add. It's a word from the Lord, and it's a word for everybody, but especially somebody that's watching who lately has just felt insignificant, overlooked, or maybe you've fallen into compromise or fallen into despair, especially someone who over these past few days have just felt attacked, viciously attacked, in such a way that it has left you hurt and wounded. Which brings me directly into the reason that we're staying in the house today. I had something terrible to happen to me night before last. You know how much I love my little white dog, Lily. Well, pretty much every video usually has either Palmer or Lily in it, right, for the front porch. Well, night before last, it was just early evening. I had just let Lily out to go to the bathroom. And, I usually go out there and sit on the front porch because we live in a rural area, so you never know what could be outside. So I kind of make sure she's sort of staying in the yard and the front yard. And I had just sort of looked down right quick when I didn't even hear anything. When all of a sudden, I see Lily running around the side of the house, covered in blood. Blood's pouring from her side. She is shaking, terrified, and then I see it. 3 huge stray dogs coming from behind her. She'd been attacked by these dogs. And only God had helped her to get away, but not before. A lot of damage had been done. She ran straight to the house, to the front porch, right where I was. I reached down to pick her up. She's yelping, screaming as a little dog would do, trying to snap at me even for attempting to pick her up. I could see the damage was extensive. I just threw a towel around her, jumped in my car because it was after hours, so I'm having to drive her to an emergency animal hospital over an hour away in Florence, Alabama. My husband was not in town that night, so I was having to go by myself with this little bleeding dog in my lap. And so, she's actually over here. Let me let you see her. Baby girl. So here's my sweet little Lily. She's here, and that's the miracle. Let me get where you can just see her a little bit. Now under here is where the worst part of the damage was done, around her neck, and of course stitches and a lot of bruising and lots of things. But there's my little girl. And for front porch friends, you know how we care about these little dogs. If you'll just pray for her to get to feeling a lot better quickly, it would mean a lot to me. But let me tell you something. It was the next day after this had happened, I began to hear from the Lord for you. And I want to share with you, let me tell you first 3 things that the Lord did for me personally that I know and literally when it was happening, when I was hearing this from the Lord, I knew I've got to tell my front porch friends, this is their word too. So actually, when I was actually in the car, driving with her in my lap, trying to get there as fast as I could, I get her to the veterinary hospital. And on the way in the car, I began to hear Psalms 46:1. The Lord is our refuge and our strength, a very present help in the time of trouble. I was in trouble. I could sense his nearness. I'm just so thankful that he just says he is a very present help. He is like, I'm right here. And that's what he's telling you right now. I am in the middle of this with you. I am very present. I sensed that beautiful promise from the Lord that he was with me. As soon as I get her there, they take her back and they're telling me they're going to have to take her straight into emergency surgery. And the doctor said, Miss Wheaton, I think it'd be best for you you go on home. We'll call you right before she goes into surgery, and we'll call you after she's out of surgery. So I go to the car, heavy-hearted, some tears, and I'm driving home. And you know what? As I'm driving home in those country hillsides out here in Alabama, I look up and there it is, the most beautiful, perfect rainbow. I could see it from beginning to end. And I knew that it was the Lord just saying to me, Karen, I'm keeping my promise to you. I'm letting you know I'm here. I'm here. And I keep my word. That's what he's telling you today. I'm present. I'm with you in this. I'm not far away. I'm very present. And I keep my promises. Well, I come on home and I'm by myself. And you know how it is in situations like this. And you walk in the house and they're not there. And that's hard. And then I went to bed, and she usually sleeps at the, foot of our bed. And I was just laying there, just thinking, Lord, I just hate that I can't be with her tonight. I just hate that I can't even be with her, obviously, in the surgery. During the surgery, Lord, I'm just feeling so concerned. I looked down at my phone. I picked up my phone. And I think it was like on some Pinterest thing. And right when I picked it up, y'all, there was no reason for this to be on this phone. This was one of the first things my eyes fell on when I looked down and looked at this. Look at this picture. Now, can you believe that? How sweet is the Lord? Is that not? I couldn't be there, but he could. He's not only a very present help for me, he was a very present help for her. And you know what? As you look at that right now, I want you to know he's a very present help for you. If he would care about a little dog just because I care about it, then he cares for you. Oh, so much more. Because for you, some of you watching me right now, I was just dealing with a little dog I loved. But some of you are dealing with something far more important. For some of you, it's your child on that operating table. For some of you, it's a loved one that you care about very deeply that's on that table. It may be you that's preparing to go into that room to have surgery. And I just thought the Lord told me to put that picture up, put it up right there one more time. Because he wanted to remind you, he's present. Don't you be afraid. He's going to take care of you. He's the one who made your body, and he knows how to fix it. Or if it's your loved one, he's going to be right there. Look at his hand in that picture, showing that surgeon right where to go. Yeah, he knows how to fix this. That's right. Even if the surgeon, the doctors are not even aware, they're being guided by an unseen hand. It doesn't matter if they know it or not. You know it. You know he's the one taking care of you. He is your great physician, not only in the physical realm, but also in even the emotional realm or spiritual. God cares about that. Now come back to me. The Lord told me to tell you, not only is he going to bring you through this thing, he's going to heal you from it. When I got Lily home, like I showed you, she's all bandaged up, stitched up, bruised up. But the Lord just reminded me of what he says in this beautiful verse right here in Psalms 147:3. He says, the Lord heals the brokenhearted, and he binds or he bandages up their wounds. Isn't that just beautiful? The Lord's going to heal you from this. What you just got attacked with this week, whether it was words that attacked you, whether it was something in the spirit realm, or whether it was a spirit of fear, you just felt like you have just been attacked by something bigger than you are. Well, the Lord's telling you, I'm going to bring you through it. I'm going to heal you from it. I'm going to bind up your wounds. I'm going to be with you. I'm the present help with you right now. You don't have to be afraid. Your daddy's here. I love the way that God speaks to us through something that in some way some people would say that's just insignificant. It's just a little dog. Well, he speaks through insignificant things sometimes. Maybe it's insignificant to you. Or maybe, you know what? He doesn't just speak through a dog. He speaks through the birds. He speaks through the flowers. Come on. As something as small and insignificant as this, God speaks. He speaks through the stars, as epic as they are. And the Lord just told me to tell you right now, for some of you that are in the middle of those places of feeling attacked, just like my little Lily did, but you feel attacked by something far greater. Listen to what he told me to tell you. And he told me to read you this. There's 3 things he wants you to notice. He told me to tell you this out of Matthew, the 6th chapter. He doesn't just care about the dog. He cares about the birds. Not only does he care about the birds, how much more will he care about you? Look at this. Matthew 6th chapter, 25th verse in the New Living. That is why I tell you, don't worry about everyday life, whether you have enough food and drink or enough clothes to wear. Isn't life more than food and your body more than clothing? Look at the birds. Look at that. Look at the birds. Look at the birds. They don't plant or harvest or store food in barns, for your heavenly Father feeds them. And aren't you far more valuable than they are? Can all of your worries add a single moment to your life? Look at this right here. And why worry about your clothing, what you're going to wear? Look at the lilies of the field, how they grow. They don't work or make their clothes, and yet Solomon, all of his glory, was not as beautiful as they are. And if God cares so wonderfully about the wildflowers that are here today and gone tomorrow, surely, he says, certainly, he will care for you. So why do you have so little faith? Oh, I just love that. I love God telling you today, you just need to just go out there and just look at the birds. You are worth to me far more than they are, and I take care of them. As much as I love my little dog, he cares for you far more than even the little animals or even the flowers. And he's going to take care of them. Surely he's going to take care of you. Then I love this. In Isaiah, the 40th chapter, you should read the whole chapter. The whole chapter of Isaiah 40 is amazing because it talks about the God who sees the nations as just like a little drop in the bucket. The God who holds the earth like a grain of sand, it says, on the tip of his finger. Listen to what this verse, the whole chapter is talking about this big epic God. So now that he has told us, right, look at the birds, look at the flowers. Now look at what he says. In Isaiah, the 40th chapter, he says here, Isaiah 40, verse 26. Look up at the heavens. Who created all of those stars? He brings them out like an army, one after another, calling them each by name. Because of his great power and incomparable strength, not a one of them is missing. And I love this. Oh, Jacob, how can you say that the Lord doesn't see your troubles? There's so much in this. I just love it. What is the Lord saying? He's telling you today, he wants you to go look at three things. The flowers, the stars, and the birds. The flowers, because he wants you to know there's nothing he can't make beautiful. There's nothing that he is too hard for him to take care of you. He's going to provide. He wants you to look at the flowers to just remind you he's going to provide. He wants you to go look at the stars. Why? Because for those of you that's going through something impossible, to look at the stars is to remind you there's nothing too big for him. Because that universe looks so big, it's monstrous, it's epic. Our wisest scientist in the world can't even fathom its greatness. There's hundreds of billions of galaxies, each containing over 100 billion stars. And yet the word says he knows each star by name. How big is that universe? Even our scientists say there's more stars in the heavens than there are grains of sand on every seashore and every speck of the earth. Oh, my friend. That's why I love it where he says, so, oh, Jacob. Well, how can you say the Lord doesn't see your trouble? If you're facing something totally impossible right now, if you're facing something that's so big that no man can fix it, then tonight you need to go out there and look at the stars. And you need to look up at those stars and say, you know what? If he can call each star by name, then I know he knows my name. If he can make all that universe spin and work together, I just think he can probably handle my situation. I just think if he can make that, surely he can make a way for me. Why does he tell you to go look at the birds? He tells you to look at the stars because there's nothing too big for him. He tells you to go look at the birds because there's nothing too small for him. There's nothing too insignificant for him. Oh, let me just show you this verse. Oh, it's one of my favorite. Look, I got to hurry. Look at this. In Matthew, look at this, the 10th chapter and the 29th verse. He says, what is the price of 2 sparrows? 1 copper coin or a penny? But not a single sparrow can fall to the ground without your Father knowing it. And the very hairs of your head are all numbered. So don't be afraid. You are more valuable to God than a whole flock of sparrows. I love that, my friend. That's the Lord saying to you today. Go out there and look at the sparrows. He says, now how many sparrows are out there? Think about how many stars there are. A lot. How many sparrows? Can you imagine outside that window right there? How many sparrows there are outside that window? And yet he says, not one little bird on the whole earth falls to the ground without him seeing it and knowing it. He sees when you fall, and he cares. If he cares when a little bird falls, that's why he says, if I know when a bird falls, he says, you are more valuable to me than a whole flock of sparrows. Now, when he says flock, it's bigger than what we think. When he says you care, that he cares for you much more, his much more and ours is vastly different. He loves you more than you can fathom. You don't keep up with the hairs on your head. He does, and gets a new count every day, especially with me. Yeah, he keeps up with you more than you do. He cares about these insignificant things, what seems small to you. If it matters to you, it matters to God. I don't care if it's big and epic or if it's little like a little dog. If it matters to you, it matters to God. Why do we act like insignificant things, small things? We shouldn't bother God with small things. Why do we act like that? Why do we act like, we can't take him a whole lot of things at once. We can just only take him a few things at once. Like God can't handle it? I think he can handle it. That's why he says, you cast all of your cares on me because I care for you. Oh, my sweet friend. He cares. Yeah, he cares about not only the big epic, he cares when you stub your toe. He cares when you're tired. He cares when you're discouraged, mother, praying for your prodigal, and it's worse, and you're exhausted. He cares about that. He cares about when you're happy. He cares about when you just go shopping and you're having a good day. He cares about that. He wants you to know about that today, too. He cares about all of it. He cares. You know what I heard him tell me today? He wanted me to tell somebody, he cares that it's your birthday. It's your birthday. And God chose that birthday, and it matters to him. You matter to him. He celebrated the day you were born. You are not a mistake. Oh, he's more happy about your birthday than anybody else. He'll never forget that day. He celebrates it every year. And he wants you to know that it matters to him. And he told me to tell you from him, happy birthday. That he sees it. So happy birthday. He wanted me to tell you today he cares that you've been viciously attacked this week by something that was greater than you, and it's left you hurting. He wants to bind you up, but listen to me. You've got to run to him, just like Lily ran to me. She didn't hang out there where those dogs were. She was a few seconds away from not being with us anymore. If she had not run to me, she'd be gone. Lily got away by the grace of God. You can get away too by the grace of God. But she ran to where her help comes from. She knew her safe place was with the one who loved her and my house. She ran to that door. She knew where to go. You know where to go. Run today to the one who loves you. If you're hurting and you've been attacked by fear, you've been attacked by discouragement, you've been attacked by depression, you need to run to your Father who cares about you. You need to run today to your Father's house and let him bind up your wounds. The Lord told me to tell you today, don't be afraid. Stop worrying. The Lord said to ask you, why are you afraid? Why are you depressed? He said to tell you your Father is present and he sees you and he wants to take care of you. Then I heard this sweet little phrase from the Lord to tell you. He said for me to tell you, start singing, little bird. I see you. And that's enough. I pray God's hope and strength over you. Would you comment? I'm about to play a song I want you to hear all the way to the end. But while this song is while you're listening, I want you just to comment. Comment. Tell me what you need today. Tell me where you're struggling so we can agree with you in prayer. And the Lord will see your comment, and so will your front porch friends. Let us know what you need in prayer for. But here's what I also want you to comment. I want you to say these words. Everything is going to be all right because my Father is here. He's your present help. Say, I want you to comment. Everything is going to be all right. And if you're facing something huge and big and impossible, then you go comment, I'm looking at the stars. If today you're battling with the fear about provision, I want you to comment, I'm looking at the flowers. And today, if you're battling with something that maybe you feel small and insignificant, I want you to comment, I'm looking at the birds. I want you to listen to this song right now. Matt Gilman, my dear friend, he's part of the Ramp family, sang this song at the Front Porch Friends Conference just a few weeks ago. And I heard this song today for you. He sang this live. Oh, watch it all the way to the end and be blessed, my sweet friend. You are loved. I'll see you next week. Watch the song. Oh, I can't wait to hear what you think about it. Bye-bye.
And I sing because I'm happy. And I sing because I'm free. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. Sing this out. Sing, why should I feel discouraged? And why should the shadows come? And why should my heart feel lonely and long for heaven and home? When Jesus is my portion, a constant friend is He. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He won't chase me. And I sing because I'm happy, and I sing because I'm free. Oh, His eye is on Yes, I know. Yes, I know. I know, I know, I know, I know. I know, I know, I know, I know. If he watches over the sparrow, if he clothes the lily with beauty and splendor, how much more does he love me? How much more does he love me? I know, I know, I know, I know. I know, I know, I know, I know. And I know he watches. Me. Jesus.